Good morning. It is Monday, Addendum Monday. This is an addendum to my Monday podcast. I'm still going to do my Cold War Monday podcast, but this is some extra material that I have collected. Enjoy. Thank you. So there's a lawsuit going on right now against YouTube and other social media companies. It's a 20-year-old guy that is suing, saying that he's addicted to social media and it's social media's fault. So this is a perfect example of the consequences of raising your children sovereign. When parents raise their kids sovereign, they basically let their kids do whatever they want. They let their kids live like they are guests rather than a part of the family. This is the kind of thing that happens. What happens when you send those kids to school? When at home, they're sovereign. When they go to school, they expect to be what? Sovereign. They expect to do what they want, when they want, how they want. They don't expect to have to actually obey any rules. And if there's any pushback, if the principal or anybody else dares to punish these kids for their misbehavior, the parents don't look at the kids cross-eyed. They don't say to the children, "You got to straighten up." No, they go to the school district. And they go after the school district. They go after the principal. They go after the teachers. They say, "There's nothing wrong with my child. How dare you?" Okay? And the same thing happens here. They let their kids, and you read the book called about sovereignty, the sovereign child. And in there, I think it's chapter 2, they talk about letting children watch whatever they want to watch on social media, on the computers, on their cell phones. Let them watch whatever they want to watch. Let them go. Okay? And so it is the parents that are getting their children addicted to social media. But the parents are not about, these liberal parents are not about to accept responsibility for their behavior. Okay? And they're not going to blame their child. So who's left? The social media companies. Especially since they have deep pockets. And so they encourage their 20-year-old adult child to go ahead and sue the social media companies, when in reality, the people who should be getting sued are the parents. Back in a minute. Thank you. So in Texas, the Republicans lost a seat in the House, and it was supposed to be in a district. The rumor is that Donald Trump won by like 17 points. And their stupid Republican National Committee managed to lose the seat, and by a huge margin. So what this comes down to, though, is donations. I get and have been getting a request for donations from the Republican Party and from the Democrats, for that matter. But primarily from the Republican parties, I get messages, I get phone calls, I get emails. It goes on and on and on with these people saying, we've got to stop the Democrats. Please give us money. And as I've said before, and I'm going to say it again, no, I'm not donating any money up front. No more. I'm not donating money on spec. I will only donate money after the fact. So the job of, for instance, the Republicans this year, the big job is to maintain or grow, preferably grow, their majority in the House. If they lose it, I send them nothing. If they maintain it or grow it, then they get, then I'll go ahead and send them something. If they lose seats, but they still maintain a majority, they're going to get less from me than if they maintain or gain. So that's something that I recommend to everybody. Stop and consider whether or not you really want to continue donating money to the Republican Party on spec. Because the Republican Party will promise all kinds of things to get your money, and then once they get your money, they don't necessarily deliver. Back in a minute. Thank you. So the new guy, what's his name here? Let's see if we have. Well, it doesn't. Yeah, Kevin Warsh. Okay, as the new Fed chairman. This brings up. He's being nominated by Donald Trump, and the Senate will have to confirm him. What this tells us, and why this is important, is the liberals want to brainwash us into believing that the Fed is independent. It is not. The Fed works for us. If the Fed were independent, we would vote for the Fed chairman. We don't. We vote for the president, who nominates somebody to be the Fed chairman, and that nominee is confirmed by the Senate. And by the way, the Attorney General is not independent either. Same idea. The president gets elected by the people, and then the president selects somebody to be Attorney General, who is then confirmed by the Senate. Back in a minute. Thank you. So there's supposedly a partial government shutdown going on. I thought it was not going to be for a couple of days yet, but oh well. Anyhow, so we got the shutdown, and the deal with the government shutdown is that these kinds of things are going to continue to happen because the Democrats are able to get political advantage from these shutdowns. The dynamic is, and the key to this dynamic is making sure that the Republicans never declare victory. Okay, and the Democrats don't either. If one side or the other declares victory, we won, then we have an incentive not to have the shutdowns. Okay, particularly if the Republicans are able to declare victory. So the Democrats make sure they maybe in these backroom deals tell the Republicans, you must agree, we're going to go ahead and lift the shutdown, but you have to agree not to claim victory. And that's what gives people the idea that this is pointless. And the left, the liberals like that because then they can always threaten the Republicans with a shutdown. They know that the people are going to see the shutdown as being pointless, and then they're going to blame the Republicans. So it becomes a no-win situation for the Republicans. And the way for the Republicans to get out of this, declare victory. Back in a minute. Thank you. So Maria Bartiromo on Sunday mornings with Maria, she's talking about how there are groups in Minnesota, and I've talked about this before myself, where groups in Minnesota that are located in the Mexican embassy that are part of the protests in Minnesota, and that there is some rumors to the effect that the Mexican government is going to be much more forcefully anti-Trump in the future. Not that that's a terribly scary thing. And that it's all about the Mexico and the Mexican government. And that's wrong. It's all about the drug cartels. Experts, or so-called experts, for a long time have said that basically Mexico is a narco state. They're run by the drug cartels. Nobody gets elected to any office without being approved by the drug cartels, and anybody that dares to defy the drug cartels ends up dead. We hear about this in rumors, reports over and over and over and over and over again. This person that was a sheriff or a mayor that stands up to drug cartels ends up getting shot dead. Okay, so it's the drug cartels that are involved in Mexico. But she also doesn't go far enough to say that it's the drug cartels that are supplying money to the Democrats and the Democrat Party to corrupt them and get them to promote cartel policies. So then what, to even make this mistake worse, is she then wants to interview somebody about this, because that's basically all she's good for, is sitting around interviewing people. And as she does all the time, she gets somebody on her show that has a conflict of interest. a giant conflict of interest, and that is a Mexican official from the embassy, from the Mexican embassy. So she's asking him questions and allegedly challenging this guy about the Mexican government's involvement in protests. And he starts, of course, saying that Mexico's a wonderful place. We've secured the border. We love Donald Trump, et cetera, et cetera. He just starts spewing propaganda. So this is not news. It's not analysis. It's not helpful. Non-profit news now. Thank you. Now, Maria Bartiromo.
A little blast from the past. That's former President Obama back in 2010 on upholding the nation's immigration law. The 44th president's speech, which was broadly supported by American media at the time, went viral on X this week following a second deadly shooting in Minneapolis involving a federal law enforcement officer and a protester last weekend during the crackdown on illegal immigration. Today, with President Trump in the White House, Democrat governors and certain lawmakers, legacy media, and liberal Hollywood are telling citizens to resist ICE and Border Patrol, in some cases to get in their faces, to record their operations, and stop the operations.
Okay, so right there, my message to Democrats is, on the ground Democrats, the people that are going out and getting in the faces and doing the protests and getting arrested and getting sprayed in the face with pepper spray and in some cases getting shot and killed is, where are your leaders? Look at all these so-called leaders, the Hollywood elites and the other elites that are telling you what to do, but they don't bother to show up. They don't bother to lead from the front. If it's me, if I'm a Democrat, I'm saying, forget it. I'm not going out there and putting myself at risk until I see these people in Congress, legacy media, and Hollywood out on the front line with everyone else, putting themselves at risk. Other than that, forget it. And back in a minute. Thank you. So, as far as the shootings or the death of these two mobsters, they're not protesters. Protesters lends them, is a word that lends them dignity. That's the way the left wants to frame this, as protesters slain. And they're not protesters. They're mobsters. They're criminals. That's probably the best way to say it. Two criminals are dead. And the talking point for the Republicans is that they committed suicide. The woman who attacked the ICE officer with her car was simply committing suicide by cop. The guy that was stupid enough to bring a 9mm to this debacle was committing suicide by cop. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they wanted. They wanted to get shot and killed because they thought that this was going to spark some sort of an outrage and that everybody in the United States of America would rise up and throw off their capitalist masters, blah, blah, blah. Well, no such thing has happened. No such thing will happen. But remember, the frame here is suicide by cop, and that the people that are attending these debacles are criminals. They're not protesters. They are criminals. We can't win an argument about protests and peaceful protests. We can win an argument about crime and criminals all day long. Back in a minute. Thank you. So, Karen Bass, I looked something up about her because I had a little theory that Karen Bass was doing, and I suspect all the Democrats in city government or throughout the state are doing the same thing. that the Republicans are doing. The Republicans in Congress are skimming the stock market. They've been doing it for years, decade, and more than that. And they make millions of dollars, and that's the only reason they're there. They don't give a damn about conservatism. They don't care about republicanism. They don't care about the country. All they care about is getting rich. Okay? The Democrats the same way. Nancy Pelosi is the classic example. But I was thinking, well, maybe that's affected Karen Bass. And the reason I thought this was because I thought, well, the people here in California that are the so-called leaders, the Gavin Newsoms and the Karen Basses, they're very, very timid. These aren't people that are bold. They're very timid. And they're also people that haven't gotten anything done for the Democrats, for the left. They haven't come up with single-payer health care. They have done nothing about climate change except make things worse. They've failed to house the homeless, and they have failed to soak the rich. As a matter of fact, they're busy giving the rich in the state of California, the entertainment industries, tax breaks. And so I wonder, why is that? Maybe they're as timid as the Republicans up on Capitol Hill for the same reason, because they don't dare do anything that might get them thrown out of office, because then they miss out on millions and millions of dollars. So I looked it up. In a few years ago, as a matter of fact, when she was still in Congress, she had a net worth of $325,000. That sounds reasonable. Today, her net worth is $15 million. How did she do that? I think she was in Congress in 2008. So between 2008 and 2026, $15 million? So the only way that she could have done that was taking advantage of the loopholes, the congressional loophole that allows insider trading. And that's the reason she's timid. That's the reason she doesn't do anything to make things better vis-a-vis liberalism and the Democrat Party, because she doesn't want to lose her job because it's lucrative. She has no interest, just like Republicans, she has absolutely no interest in the Democrat Party. She has no interest in liberalism or its goals. All she cares about is her and her money. Back in a minute. Thank you. This is Ron, your host, the only true conservative in the United States today, bidding adios to all the butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers out there, and reminding you that you're not neutral and that the government has no rights.